Hello and welcome back to the Rich Alvarez Show. I'm your host, Rich Alvarez, as always. I, of course, have been the only host of the Rich Alvarez Show, but one day, if I'm not feeling well, or, I'm out of town or whatever, maybe somebody else will take my place. Or maybe I just won't have a show that day. Who knows? Today, I thought we'd talk about something that isn't, necessarily relevant in the news, per se. I usually try to pick topics that, are, going on, right now and whatever. And, yeah, I could have talked about how the reviews for Men in Black International aren't great, or I could have talked about a bunch of other stuff. But I decided I wanted to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a little while now. And I'm not going to go too huge on it, because there are actually some fantastic YouTube videos that cover this exact topic. But again, so Disney has been remaking a bunch of their animated classics, for better or worse, most of the time for worse. And I thought I'd like to talk about one that I don't think they'll ever remake. One that I think that they should definitely pass the rights off to, because I believe that Disney still owns the rights to the Black Cauldron. Now, Black Cauldron, it kind of went way under the radar for many reasons. Walt Disney Studios as a whole was, kind of, wow, that happens every single time for no reason whatsoever. I thought the clapper would be instrumental in me getting this all set up easily and done when I'm finished, but unfortunately it proves to be a pain in the ass. Every time it turns off without me clapping at all. I don't know why. Maybe a bug lands on it. Who knows? Anyways, Black Cauldron. So it came out in 1985. Now, Disney was already kind of going through a little bit of a pre-bankruptcy. This is the movie where they thought we're pretty much bankrupt. In fact, on paper, they were, but because Disney, the company, had a lot of investors and stock and a lot of, financially proficient friends, they were able to get out of it. But they were pretty much bankrupt. And now, it wasn't all the Black Cauldron's fault. Although, because of... And again, there have been many YouTubers that have covered the Black Cauldron. And I'm going to get into what I want to talk about in a second. But just to give you a little recap a little bit. The Black Cauldron cost almost $50 million to make at a time when that was the most expensive animated film ever to make, and it only made about $21 million at the box office, so it didn't even make half of what it cost to make, so it was a huge loss for Disney. There was a couple things going into this. One, Disney's reputation had slipped a little bit. Disney had been dead for a while, and people were starting to lose interest in the company at the time. It had been 4 years since the previous animated film, which was The Fox and the Hound, which did okay, but, nobody's favorite Disney movie is The Fox and the Hound. I liked The Fox and the Hound as a kid, but it's, it's not great compared to, some of the Disney greats, right? And so just interest had fallen, the company was losing money, and then here comes The Black Cauldron, the most expensive animated movie. It is a dark, medieval, high fantasy, and it was also the first PG. This is really important. It was the first PG Disney animated film. Disney had tried to keep all of their cartoons G. Everything was G rated. 1985 comes around with the Black Cauldron. Here's a PG. And again, PG was different at the time, because you have to remember, in 1985, there was no PG-13. It was just general admission, which was G. PG, which is parental guidance, meaning there could be some stuff inappropriate for kids, and then R-rated, which was restricted, as it still is. Anyone 17 and under is not admitted. There was no PG-13. Steven Spielberg, after Temple of Doom, he thought, that in that movie, Temple of Doom was rated PG because, they thought that it wasn't quite gruesome enough to be rated R. But it was after Temple of Doom that Spielberg spent some years with the I can't remember, the AARP or whatever it is. He spent some time with them trying to figure out a new rating system, and it wasn't until 1989 or 1990 when PG-13 finally became a thing. So, ergo, you have a family cartoon, a kid's cartoon, rated PG at a time when PG-13 was not a thing. That was basically saying, this may not be appropriate for your children. a dark, medieval, high fantasy that is rated PG from Disney. So you can see how parents were kind of hesitant to take their kids to see the Black Cauldron. You know, a lot of people don't mention the PG-13 thing in their videos of the Black Cauldron, and that's why I thought it was important that I should tell you, because I feel like that is completely relevant to why it didn't do as well as it could have in theaters. I mean, a cartoon like The Incredibles comes out today that's rated PG, and it's like, it's no big deal, because now we have PG-13 to kind of be that middle bumper, you know? And you know, and today PG-13 is kind of looked at as pretty mild, actually. You know, compared to anything. Like, it's really, you know, things have to be R-rated for them to be bad enough for parents not to take their kids to these days. But yeah, a PG cartoon like The Incredibles comes out, no problem. It's going to do great. But back in 85, a PG cartoon was pretty much death. And we're not even talking about all the technical and artistic problems that went down during the making of the Black Cauldron. Again, guys, there are like 2 or 3 hour videos on YouTube that cover this in so much detail that, like, I almost feel like I have no business talking about it. But I love the Black Cauldron. It is based on a huge series of books, you know, that take place in the Prydain land, you know, and you know, it's the Black Cauldron's actually the name of the second book, but the cartoon kind of uses elements of the first 2, so, you know, they figured that's okay. You know, there was problems with the animators, you know, not wanting to do certain things or wanting to do certain things that Disney wouldn't let them do. The writers, you know, they kept switching out writers. You know, they had this huge script that had to be, you know, tooled down, and then like Michael Eisner came into Disney and he's like, you have to cut, you know, and this was like. And again, please watch those videos if you can find them. I can't remember the name of any of the YouTubers, so I apologize. But you can easily find them. Like, they made like a hour and 40-minute cartoon, and then Michael Eisner became the CEO of Disney. He's like, you have to cut 12 minutes out of this. This is too long, and it's too much. And so, you know, people started quitting. It took like an additional year to finally like finish the movie, and there's a lot on the cutting room floor. I think there's some fan edits where they have found some missing footage to be put back in, and it kind of completes the thing. But here's the thing: even the way that the movie was originally theatrically cut, I still enjoy the movie, and I see a lot of promise in it. I think it's just there's so much surface level stuff that made the movie flop, because I think it is secretly one of the most ingenious Disney cartoons ever made, and unfortunately, you know, people just either didn't see it then or they dismiss it now because nobody really talks about it. You know, so I highly recommend going to see the Black Cauldron. But let's get about what this title is. I said the title of this video is the Disney movie that should be remade. You know, they keep remaking these animated classics, and here's one, The Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron, again, I love the cartoon, but it almost never should have been a cartoon, because they were trying to adapt a piece of a story that's as big as something like The Lord of the Rings or, you know, Narnia and what have you. You know, it really needed, you know, more fleshing out and more, you know, more character and everything, and you really can't do that in an hour and a half cartoon anyway. So I think that this should be remade. I think that the way that Disney is set up now is, you know, very different. They, you know, now they have Marvel and Lucasfilm and everything. I actually think that they could remake. I think that Disney has the staff, the crew, and the ability to get strong directors that could remake The Black Cauldron in a fantastic live-action film, but I don't think that Disney will, because of the bad blood associated with it, as far as they're concerned, it being a huge financial flop, which ended up, basically, they had to revitalize their entire animation department. You know, they almost didn't finish The Great Mouse Detective, which wasn't finished at the time that Black Cauldron flopped, and so that, you know, also had kind of a hellish post-production trying to get that finished. But they basically put all their chips on the table when it came to The Little Mermaid, and that's why we kind of considered The Little Mermaid the beginning of the Disney Renaissance, because they had completely changed the way that they make a cartoon. And from that point onward, they were going for more of like the Broadway musical aesthetic, to try to capture people, like kids and parents, in with this high musical aesthetic. And I love, of course, all of that stuff. The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, The Lion King, Hercules. I love all that stuff. But I think, again, all of that better and more successful stuff continued to put Black Cauldron under the radar. In fact, Disney was so ashamed that the Black Cauldron failed at the box office that they didn't release it on video for 13 years. It didn't come out on VHS until 1998, way after its 1985 theatrical run. So it's like no one could even see this movie until 1998 if you hadn't seen it in 85. So, you know, they are, in other words, they're completely ashamed of this movie. There's probably no chance in hell that they'll ever give it a remake. So I kind of propose that Disney gives the rights to another company. What other company? It's hard to say. There's a lot of, you know, stuff in Hollywood happening today that I'm not really great with. You know, I think studios are mishandling properties all over the place. So it's hard to say, but I definitely think someone should remake the Black Cauldron, you know. And I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to see, and maybe it would work better as like an HBO show like Game of Thrones, you know, with different writers, you know, but, you know, something long form like a 10 season epic covering that entire story. I love the story of the Black Cauldron and the Prydain stories that it's based off of. I really think it should be a long-form fantasy. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's been 11 minutes, and I haven't gotten to any Q&A yet, so I'm sorry. I just wanted to get out my entire Black Cauldron rant. And again, if you want to know more about the Black Cauldron, find some of those hour, 2 hour, 3 hour videos on YouTube going into super details about the Black Cauldron. I just think it's a great cartoon, deserves a second watch or first watch if you've never seen the Black Cauldron, and definitely deserves a live-action remake in some form, whether that be a movie or TV show. Okay, now I'm going to get into the questions. Let's see here. Okay, back to my super chat. And again, guys, I just want to say that these are not permanent super chat goals. I still haven't thought of anything better to do than Chubby Bunny. Maybe you preferred it that 1 week where I was doing the hot sauces. But, you know, I would say I'm probably going to revise this a lot just because I don't always want to do the Chubby Bunny. And I think that there could be better stuff that you guys would be more into. But I think the fun voices thing I do is something that you guys do enjoy. But anyways, let's get into Q&A. So, we have all the first. It looks like Captain Emerald 97 has finally broken Alfie Whitaker's record of being first. Alfie Whitaker was first 8 or 9 times in a row. I can't remember, but Captain Emerald, at least the way I'm seeing it in my chat screen, he was first. That's insane. All right. Let's see. So, yeah, first, Marty Man says first. He's not first. And Alfie Whitaker also says first, and sadly he is not first today. So, Rockin' Robin says, hi, Rich. Hello. I don't think I've seen you in the chat yet, Rockin' Robin. Alfie Whitaker says, still got it, baby. I think, I don't know, maybe on your end you see it first because you were coming in at that time, but on my screen, Captain Emerald 97 is first, unfortunately, Alfie. And Odd Eyes Emperor says, 1 millionth. And then, yeah, Marty Man says Captain got it. Andre Van Zark says, yes, Black Cauldron. And then Alfie says he's first on his. Okay, well, I guess it's going to be up for some debate. Let's see here. Let's skip all the arguments about who was first. Okay. Rockin' Robin says, Rich, are you going to do a Red Dead 2 video like you did Stupid Mario? You mean, like, am I going to do, like a big series based on Red Dead? I mean, I'm already doing a giant series based on Fallout that I still need to finish. You know, if you haven't watched that, we have 2 episodes of Fallout Elwood, our Fallout live-action series, on this channel right now. You should check that out. We're still in the middle of trying to get episode 3 done, but it's been a huge hassle. But yeah, I love Red Dead Redemption anyway, but I don't know if we're going to do a video on that. Marty Man says, or no, they're still talking about it. Yeah, Marty Man says, you need to get a new lamp. It's my film light up there, and yeah, it keeps turning off in the middle of videos, making this seem way more unprofessional than it already is. So I think I'm going to have to uninstall that clapper and just go over there, actually walk over there and turn it off when I want it off. I want to do that. I keep forgetting to do that. That's why I had the clapper installed in the first place, is because I'm lazy. Sorry, guys. But I will remember to fix that. Rockin' Robin says Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp is getting a live action remake already, actually. It's going to be, I believe, premiering in November when Disney Plus. It's going to be a Disney Plus exclusive. I believe it is a movie, but it is going to be exclusively on Disney Plus service. Odd Eyes Emperor says, Rich, no one's favorite movie is The Fox and the Hound. Oh, he's quoting me. And then he says, my sister's is. Well, I apologize. Again, I like The Fox and the Hound. It's not my favorite Disney movie, and I've never actually heard anybody say that Fox and the Hound is their favorite. But, your sister, it's her opinion. And again, The Fox and the Hound isn't a bad movie. So I'm sure, she's found something in that movie to latch onto that is her favorite. Maybe it was the first one she saw or the first one that she remembers seeing. This nostalgia plays a big role in everything, guys. Chrono Trigger is still my favorite game of all time, and a lot of people say it has no business being my favorite game. But I would argue that it's still technically really great. Anyways. Sparrow717 says, The Fox and the Hound was my childhood. Okay, I can see that people are going to be bandwagoning against me on The Fox and the Hound. Alex Stars 94 says, Hi, Richie. Hello. And, he says, Hi, chat. Andre Van Zark says, Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Getting past more arguments about who was first. Andre Van Zark says, I really loved Cauldron. It could make a great remake live. And then Andre says, I have it on VHS. Yeah, we could talk about that. I could literally talk about that for hours. But obviously, it's just one of those things where it would be great as a live action. Sparrow717 says, Hey, Rich, what other classic movies like this, in your opinion, or people's opinion chat, should be remade? It's hard to say. I feel like they've already remade a lot of the ones that could have been great remakes. One of my real big pet peeves is Maleficent, because they could have made a fantastic remake of Sleeping Beauty, and instead they did Maleficent, which really bastardizes the story, in my opinion, and kind of takes, Maleficent was just supposed to be the embodiment of pure evil, and then they gave her this, backstory and everything, and, it's fine, you can do that with other villains, but, when you have an established villain like that is just pure evil, maybe leave it alone, I don't know. Rockin' Robin says, never-ending story. I think that, I'm of the opinion that the never-ending story is timeless and great as it is. Just like you would never, or I would never want them to remake Back to the Future, because Back to the Future is also perfect and never needs a remake, And people will go, what about the effects? It's like, okay, it came out in the 80s, and, do people really get jarred by old special effects? I mean, maybe it doesn't bother me because that's what I grew up with, but I just think, obviously special effects look different back then than they do now, but that doesn't ruin my enjoyment of the movie. I don't know, you let me know. There's nothing in the never-ending story that I see that I'm like, oh, that needs to be remade. I think the movie still holds up. I like a lot of those prosthetics and a lot of the puppets and everything. I don't really see CGI as being an improvement over the incredible construction work on those puppets and prosthetics. But, that could just be me. I do love the never-ending story. I guess I wouldn't say no to a remake just so that people would have it in their heads again. I don't know. The Supremacy Mecha Hunter is here and he says, How are you doing today? Hello, I'm doing good. Marty Man says, for your next Rich Alver show, talk about Toy Story 4. That is coming in a week or so. I will probably wait until after the movie comes out so that I can do a big review. I am very much looking forward to Toy Story 4, as I am a big fan of the Toy Story films. Spermsy Mecha Hunter says, I wish there's a remake of Treasure Planet. Despite the box office at the time, it would be an epic Star Wars and Pirates of the Caribbean feel. It is just a dream. Yeah. Treasure Planet, yeah, that's another one that is kind of an underrated Disney movie. In fact, I think Garrett Allen, you guys know Garrett, my friend Garrett, who is in several of my videos, I believe he has said that Treasure Planet is his favorite Disney cartoon. I've also got a lot of friends that think that Atlantis, The Lost Empire, that's their favorite Disney cartoon. Both of those movies could make excellent live-action movies. Chancellor Schneider's here. He says, Hi, Rich Alvarez. Hello, Chancellor. Andre Van Zark says, WB or Lionsgate. Warner Brothers has a spotty track record as of late. They keep pumping out all those bad... not very good DC adaptations, but, everybody thinks differently than me. I don't know. It's hard to say. Honestly, the studio almost doesn't matter. They just have to get a competent director and writer, and that could literally be from any studio. Sparrow717 says, Treasure Planet and Neverending Story. Damn right. Yeah. Mega Annie Link fan says, can't someone else just get the rights themselves? No. If Disney owns the rights, then they are holding on to those rights, and it'll be tens of millions of dollars to get the rights to anything that Disney currently owns the properties to. So Disney would have to sell another studio the rights, and it'd probably be like a $50+ million deal, just because Disney can sell it for that high. Supremacy Mech Hunter says, is Jax there? Just wondering. She is sitting right over there, out of screen. She says hello. Alikis Ranger says, I miss the OG Super Mario Bros. That was my childhood. We made it, and it was good. Mega Any Link fan says, or is it like Disney, or whatever reason, is the only one allowed to have it, or whatever? Yeah, I mean, they own the rights to it. So the way, and I don't want to, there are videos that go on forever that talk about IP, intellectual property, and the way that it works in American society. Long story short, Disney owns the film rights to the Prydain series and the Black Cauldron as a whole. And for someone else to make it, they would have to pay Disney royalties, but more than likely they would just have to pay for the rights. And Disney, as far as I know, is not even bidding for it. They're not selling it. They're not selling the rights to the Black Cauldron. They're doing that selfish thing that studios do sometimes, where they're like, well, if I can't make it, no one can, Michael is here. Michael P. He says, did you see Godzilla King of the Monsters at this point? No, remember, I'm waiting till Father's Day. So Sunday, I will finally see Godzilla King of the Monsters. I promised my dad that I would wait to see it with him, so I have not seen it yet. Godzilla was like my dad's favorite. Also, King Kong was my dad's favorite. Also, The Day the Earth Stood Still was my dad's favorite. My dad had a lot of favorites. DD Production says, hello, how are you doing? I'm doing good, DD. Let's see here. Elicus Ranger says, hey, Rich, are you ever going to release the OG Smashing Stuff videos? We have a lot of Smashing Stuff videos. I was just thinking about this today, actually. We have a lot of Smashing Stuff on the channel. Sometimes I work with Julian to try to figure out, like, what his favorites are, because, we don't always keep everything on the channel for forever. Obviously, all of the stupid Mario Brothers videos are going to stay on this channel for forever, but a lot of the other stuff we did that we're not so proud of, or we rushed, or whatever, you might notice some of those things. Like, if you were a big fan of Samurai Shampoo, which was like our Samurai Champloo spoof that had nothing to do with Samurai Champloo. Samurai Shampoo was an interactive adventure, and those are all deleted because I don't think any of us in the crew actually enjoyed making or putting those up. I don't know. But basically there are Smashing Stuffs on this channel, and generally speaking, if they're not on this channel, then Julian doesn't want them on the channel because they're not as professionally made, or they don't adhere to what his vision for Smashing Stuff was. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but generally, I believe, and he believes, that the Smashing Stuffs that you can watch on the Rich Alvarez channel are the best ones. So, I believe that that's basically it. Supremacy Mech Hunter says, have you ever seen 9 from 2009? I actually never saw that. I do need to see that. And Ryoto Nil Infinite, or Ryatone Infinite, I don't know how to say that, says, hello. Marty Man has super chatted $5 and says, sub voice, he wants me to do this. I'm going to say the line he said in the old subscriber voice. So, please join the Rich Alvarez Discord server. It's free and easy. Just push the purple button. And remember, every time you join the Discord, you get a free prize. Hooray! I added that last part because there's always supposed to be something at the end where you say you get something, I don't really post links to the Discord server anymore. Obviously you can join our Discord server, but the links haven't been working, and so I just kind of stopped posting them. But actually, that reminds me, Marty Man, and thank you for reminding me. Oh, he did add a thing. So every time you join the Discord, you get to talk with me anytime you want. Yay! Okay. So about the Discord, we've got to make a new link, and I will eventually start putting the Discord link in every description of the Rich Alvarez show. I got to work with Garrett, kind of runs the Discord, and I got to work with him on getting a more permanent Discord link. So actually, Marty Man, thank you for reminding me about the Discord. Illicus Princess says, by the way, my username is pronounced Eel a Kiss Ranger. Eel a Kiss Ranger. Okay, Eel a Kiss Ranger. Got it. Chancellor Schneider says, what about Disney's Robin Hood? Could that be remade? Not my favorite version of Robin Hood. Could they remake it? Sure. It's not one. It's definitely on my lower end of Disney films. Like I love the understand. Like my favorite things like in literature is like Arthurian literature, and I love things like Robin Hood as well. And I feel like Disney, Disney made it a Disney cartoon, which is fine, but I don't like I think that Disney kind of came to this realization later with things like The Little Mermaid and Aladdin that you kind of have to do human stories as humans, and then cartoons that are specifically animals like The Lion King and Bambi, those stories can be anthropomorphic-ish animals, but keep the stories about humans. And I think that the Robin Hood was kind of this weird period with Disney where they thought, oh, well, let's have human characters played by animals. And again, sometimes that works great, like Zootopia, but Zootopia is supposed to be about an animal civilization where they have higher intelligence, and that was an original story, versus Robin Hood, which was an established classic story about humans that they put animals on. I mean, that's really off-putting to me, and I didn't care 100% for their interpretation of it. We had Taron Egerton's Robin Hood last year, which was okay. I actually haven't seen it myself, but I know that people say it wasn't great. And then there was the Russell Crowe Robin Hood from the early 2000s, which I actually did enjoy, but it was kind of another weird interpretation of it. Probably, honestly, the best Robin Hood movie to date so far for me is Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, from the early 90s, where the sheriff of Nottingham is Alan Rickman, and like I thought that was actually pretty fantastic. So I don't know, they keep trying to do Robin Hood movies, but they haven't quite nailed it, but that one got pretty close. But Disney's Robin Hood, I don't exactly care for. Oh, I see. Marty Man says he needed to fit 200 letters in that message. Okay. Andre Van Zark says, don't know why Mulan 2 got such a bad rating and people hate it. I know the first one is amazing, but it's still a great one. I don't know. Mulan 2, it just, like a lot of the straight to DVD or straight to video sequels, it just doesn't hold up to quite the same quality. And I know a lot of people were mad at Mulan 2 for not being as true to the Chinese origins and kind of messing with the ethnicity stuff about it. I don't exactly know everything that people are upset about, but I know there's a lot of good reasons why people were upset with Mulan 2. Apparently, just there was a lot of script problems there as well. Captain Emerald Nice says, can you do both Toy Story 4 and Child's Play reviews next live stream? Well, again, I don't know about next live stream, but I will definitely cover them, after I see them. I do want to see Child's Play as well, because I love the original. Even though this doesn't keep the original origin story, I will see this one, and I will review it. Lord Bracy says, X3, how about $20 million? And I don't know what he's referring to. Anyways, but thank you for commenting, Lord Bracy. Michael P. says, if you could spend 1 hour with any film director of the last 100 years, who would you spend your time with and why? If they are a foreign director, a translator would be provided. If I could spend 1 hour with any film director of the last 100 years, I'm assuming if they're dead, we'd resurrect them, correct? That is a really tough thing to say. Like, there are directors that I would love to hang out with. Like, I'd love to spend an hour with Spielberg just hanging out, or Lucas just hanging out, or Tarantino just hanging out. But spending 1 hour with Alfred Hitchcock would probably be the most beneficial. The man was a technical genius. His scripts were huge because they were just filled with everything that needed to be in the film. There's probably a lot I could learn from Alfred Hitchcock, so I'm gonna have to say Alfred Hitchcock. Sparrow717 says, the old Super Mario Bros. The movie would be kind of cool. Fair enough, it might not do well, but still. Do you mean, would you like it to be remade? They are making a new CGI 3D Mario film, so it's going to be better than that one, but yeah, I don't know. Or maybe you were talking to someone else there, I don't know. Supremacy Mech Hunter says, when you did the Wario and the Darkness fights, You guys seem so serious and angry. The acting was so outstanding. Well, thank you. He's referring to a fight we did in Stupid Mario Brothers the movie quite some time ago, and the truth is that me and Matt Provincial were just professionals, and we tried to make it as good as possible. Daniel Tyrrell says, "Hi, Rich. Hope you've been well. Just want to say I finally decided to dive into YouTube here next month with a travel and food channel. Let me tip my hat to you, my first inspirational channel." Well, awesome, man. Hopefully that does well for you. I love, obviously we do Let's Cook here sometimes. I love food, and traveling can be good as well. Although I like to stay right here. Captain Emerald 97 says, "I mean next Friday on my last question." Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I will do the reviews. Illikis Ranger, I already forgot how to say your name, sorry, says, "Here's an interesting question for you. What were your original thoughts back in the day regarding Disney buying Marvel?" My original thoughts? Man, I don't even know. I thought, my original thought was, I wasn't sure what level Disney was going to be inputting on there. I actually originally thought, now I'm remembering this, I originally thought that Marvel was an interesting choice for Disney to buy, because I didn't know what Disney was going to do with Marvel once they got it. I'm, of course, relieved to see that they basically just own it. They make money off of it, but Disney leaves Marvel alone. Marvel Entertainment runs their business the way they've always run it, and the MCU, the movies, they're able to get better funding from Disney to make these awesome movies. And Disney, like Bob Iger, he goes in and makes sure that the movies are good, but he doesn't put in any creative thought. He doesn't touch the creator's vision, and I think that Marvel is in good hands. Let's see here. SS Cool 100 is here. And he says, nostalgia with that voice. I don't know what that means. But maybe it means my voice is nostalgic. I don't know. If so, thank you. Ada Batista is here, and he says, Adabu, YBU, Yabu. The Supremacy Mechanizer says the Mulan remake is coming. Yes, they've been talking about remaking Mulan for a while, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it as of late. Dita Production says, I rewatched Plumber Night Seasons 1 and 2 recently. It's still really good. It's probably your best work, in my opinion. Yeah, I was especially proud of the first season of Plumber Night. I'm always kind of tempted to say that technically, I believe the first season of Plumber Night is the best work we've ever done here on this channel. Just a lot of thought and a lot of great ideas went into that, and a lot of technical, probably the best technical prowess we've ever had. Excuse me. Marty Man 641 says, "Do you have any plans of making a real life Super Smash Bros. Number 3 video in the future?" Oh yeah, we had Super Smash Bros. In real life 1 and 2. Those were videos on our channel. Not really. That would, my friends would have to convince me, but I don't really see. We have 2 already that I think are pretty good. Another one would just be another one, so I don't know. Rocket Robin says, Errol Flynn Robin Hood. Yeah, classic. Illikis Ranger says, I feel the final battle between Darkness and Nox in episode 75 is the best work the Richaverse team has ever done. My 100% honest opinion. I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but the saber effects are a little dated now at this point, I definitely think everything in Plumber Night looks better than that, but, episode 75 at the time I thought was really good. Rockin' Robin says, Rich as Chucky doll. HMM. I mean, they've got Mark Hamill doing Chucky's voice now, and I think that's really cool. I just wish they would have kept the original origin where he was a serial killer first and not just AI gone crazy. It bothers me. I'm hoping that when I watch the movie that won't bother me as much as it's bothering me right now, but, we'll see. But yeah, we used to joke about Chucky all the time. I used to do the voice, like scare my friends with the, surprise, Chucky comes out of the closet, Illikis Ranger says, $20, $20 million. I'm just adding the to the 20. And then Feathered One says, $20. Mega Link fan says, thanks for answering my license right questions. In relation to fantasy epics such as the Black Cauldron, I'm writing my own fantasy epic, and while I do have a cast and crew, I may need more. Cool. Hope that works out. Ada Batista with more stuff says, Adia Pipi. I'm gonna start selecting these comments before I read them. Meg Annalink says, have you ever voice acted for others before? If so, how much you change? Oh, how much you charge? And if you're interested, can I contact you for more info? I've done a few things before. I'm not going to talk about how much I charge over live internet, but I have charged before for my voice work. I've done some little things. I did the narration in someone else's Batman spoof a couple of times, and so I am always down for that. I have looked to do some professional... Wow! Hold on, I'll do it. I really got to change that. That's annoying. Yeah, I'm always looking for voice work. I actually put out a demo reel of my voice work a couple years ago, hoping to get some voice work, but that didn't really work out professionally, but I have done some for other YouTubers. So, you know, bleh. Anyways, I've lost where I was. Oh, here we go. Marty Man says, this resurrection trope is definitely repetitive. I'll say that. What? Hi, you hate the light? It's Jackie over there. Yeah, the Supremacy Mechaner says, I love the camera angle from the Wario and Darkness fight, and when it was cloudy, it made it so awesome. I'm a fan of lightsaber choreography. Awesome. Andre Van Zark says, has anyone seen the Japanese obscure Mario cartoon? Yeah, I've seen it. I think a lot of us have seen it. It's like on YouTube, I think, too, now. Marty Man says, here's a challenge for the next 5 years of your YouTube career. Make a YouTube series, and if you're trying to bring back a character for a scene, there will be no resurrections taking place. Well, again, we're doing Fallout Elwood now, and I can assure you that anyone who dies in that show will not be resurrected. I thought that resurrections were appropriate for the Mario series, but yeah, that won't really be a thing from this point on, for the most part. Carrie's here. Carrie Animation says, hello, Mr. Alvarez. Hello, Carrie. Feather One says, hopefully no political BS, and will find its way into Marvel movies. Well, unfortunately, a lot of political stuff is kind of finding its way all over Hollywood in general. I mean, it always kind of has. You just have to not let it bother you when it does. That's my thing. Daniel Tyrrell has super chatted $5, and he says, do this in the Mario voice. Okay. No way. I'm so tired of fighting bad guys in the real world. I came here to escape the Mushroom Kingdom. Now I demand we have some fun. Okay, so this is from the first episode of Stupid Mario, and I'll do my best. Or maybe this was the first episode of Mario World. I can't remember. Either way, here goes like this. No way! I'm so tired of fighting bad guys in the real world. I came here to escape the Mushroom Kingdom. Now I demand we have some fun! Alright, that's the best I can do right now. Is it hot in this room? It's getting very hot in this room. Alright, I gotta wrap this up real soon, guys. I'm just gonna answer a few more comments. Supremacy Meg Hunter says, the Plumber Knight's beard in Season 1 was so awesome. Season 2 beards wasn't so good. Yeah, I had trimmed my beard, and so there wasn't as much to color, and so I had to make it really white, and it looked really weird. Oh, there's a cat coming in. Hello? Do you want to be on stream? Do you want to be on stream? Do you want to be on stream, Roof? This is Rufus. He won't let me pick him up. Hold on. Nope, he's running away. Okay, you guys, you don't get to see him. You don't get to see him because he was too scared. He's too scared to be on stream. All right, yeah, guys. I guess that's gonna be it for me today. I was hoping you guys could see my cat. Oh well. You can follow him on Instagram at RufusCatOfficial. Wow, wow, Rufus. Here, I'm gonna go back to solo screen here. Will you let me pick you up to be on camera? No, you're gonna hide behind the couch? Okay. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching Rich Alvarez Show today. Subscribe, like, follow us on Facebook.com/RMAProd. All that good stuff. Bye, guys. Blah, blah, blah.